fellas, it's a new week and we got some new patch notes as well as a new dev talk for the upcoming Season 3 of Marvel Rivals that's coming out on July 11. But the first thing we do know is that the Phoenix is coming out for the first playable character, and then Blade is coming out in Season 3.5 in another month from now. Now what that means is it's going to be 2 duelists as far as we can tell, and Phoenix is going to be a duelist. Blade likely also is going to be a duelist, but I heard rumor he might be a Vanguard. And with Phoenix, she's going to have a human form as well as a Phoenix form, one that flies, one that doesn't. She has some cool team ups, some cool abilities, but at the end of the day, it's important to note that she's going to be a DPS, with majority of her attacks being projectiles. And it's looking like her basic attack is going to be something similar to Scarlet Witch, which we'll cover more in just a little bit. So there's a new team up with Wolverine for her as well, where when Wolverine does his Feral Leap, he does burn damage to whoever he has picked up, and those around him when he lands. Also supposed to heal him. And so that's going to be the new team up with Wolverine when using Phoenix. And then Spider-Man is getting rid of his team up with Squirrel Girl, which is great because anything bad that happens to her is fantastic. Where Spider-Man now has a team up with the Human Torch as the anchor. He gets a flaming web as well as a new tracer that does explode and acts as a regular tracer, meaning if he hits someone it does bonus damage. With Hela, she now has a new team up with Venom, and when she uses her E ability that sucks in people and slows them down, this creates a symbiotic web similar to how Jeff's is, but this also slows down enemies. I don't think it does anything else besides that. Like, I don't think it does any damage. I think it just slows down enemies for a little bit longer, but Venom is honestly pretty decent, same with Hela, so we should end up seeing a lot of that. Now, unfortunately, speaking of Squirrel Girl, she does have a new team up with Iron Man, where she gets a drone that basically auto-locks onto people. So whether they're on the ground, whether they're flying, locks onto them and does a good chunk of damage. This will be great for finishing off heroes. I don't know how viable it will be because you do need to be at least kind of middle or front line with it, and Squirrel Girl tends to stay near the back, but it does look pretty cool, especially for finishing off people. And now there are 2 team ups that are being retired. One is the Storm Ignition, that's with Human Torch and Storm. And the other one they're retiring is, as we said, the one with Squirrel Girl and Spider-Man. Now there is going to be some hero balance updates, which is very good. We know some of them, but not all of them. And so we'll find out more likely next week or so. But Venom is getting buffed. The Thing is getting buffed. He now has the ability to jump onto an enemy target. And then if he uses his Haymaker ability, that will knock him down, meaning he is now someone who can deal with flyers, and honestly might be one of the best tanks to deal with the flyers. Shockingly, Namor is getting buffed. Mantis is getting buffed as well. I heard to damage and healing, but again, we'll find out more on that later. Inviswoman has better healing efficiency, and Scarlet Witch is also getting a buff. However, there are going to be some nerfs. Emma Frost is getting nerfed, which honestly is for the best. Iron Man is getting slightly nerfed as well with his poke damage. Punisher, his turret power and ultimate charge will be decreased. Mr. Fantastic has less survivability, which will be really good because he feels impossible to kill sometimes. Loki's ult is getting nerfed, which kind of sucks, but probably is for the best. I don't think it's going to change him much at all. And Ultron is getting a nerf to survivability and his protective capabilities, meaning I think they're going to change something with his shield, likely going down to giving him 50 overshield, but I'm not sure what they're going to do with that. And lastly, we do know that the Guardian Revival team up is getting nerfed. We don't know how so yet, but Mantis will also be stronger independently, so maybe they actually will be someone worthwhile to use. And then in Season 3.5, there's going to be a new competitive mode coming. No information on it yet, but very cool to have. And then they are adding some major customization overhauls. There's going to be a new accessory system. There'll be new trinkets that the heroes will wear on their hip. The mix and match MVP animations, you can now use any costume and equip any MVP. And the team background will also change to match your equipped costume. And then there's going to be new chroma variants. There's 4 at the moment, I believe. And that's going to be for the Invis Malice, the Scarlet Witch Immortal Sovereign, the Sunshine Landshark, I think that goes green, and the Sunshine Rocky Raccoon. And then there's going to be unstable molecules starting in Season 3. You'll earn these molecules through Battle Pass and events. What's that used for is, if you earn enough, you can effectively buy it's like a new animation or a cooler animation for your ultimate per character, and only you can see it, but at least it makes your gameplay a little bit more cool. With the mission systems, the weekly missions are now going to stick around until the end of the season, but you can't just do them all at once. You have to work through them in a progression. But if you just kind of play a bunch at the very end, it's more or less the same thing. There's going to be a new tab for the event navigation, which is really nice because the way they have it set up now sucks. With Discord, if you use that, the integration will look a little bit better. It should be a little pop-up just in the bottom left or right. I don't know if you can change it, but at least in the bottom left for you to type in chat. Technical fixes. If you use NVIDIA graphics cards, you should update because I don't know what they did to the game the last month or so, but it's been really janky. And then with the Battle Pass, because the seasons are going to be shorter, you're going to have an easier time getting chrono tokens. And then we do know that there's going to be some new skins coming. First one is going to be a new Storm skin, which is free. That is coming from an event. After that, we do know that there is going to be a new Squirrel Girl skin, which actually looks pretty cool. The new Jeff skin is honestly, I think, going to be a must buy. New Emma Frost skin is interesting at the very least, not my tea. And then a new Rocket skin as well. And then the Rocket, Squirrel Girl, and Emma Frost are going to be from the Battle Pass. And it looks like the Jeff skin, whenever that comes out, will be from having to buy it. Now, hopefully when they do nerf Ultron, they do something a little bit better with his healing because it kind of sucks. But that's all the information we have right now just from the Dev Talk. With the weekly patch notes, we do know that the symbiotic Captain America, which looks tight as hell, and the Future Foundation Spider-Man skin are coming out on Friday, July 4th. For North America, it's going to be late Thursday. And then on all platforms, they resolved an issue where returning from the player's career page via the leaderboard could sometimes redirect you to the leaderboard homepage. With Thor, they fixed an issue where if you play in high latency, sometimes that would cause his abilities to be cancelled, which I guess is a good fix. And then they also fixed a bug where if you defeat an illusion, so whether you defeat a illusion of Magneto or Psylocke, or sometimes defeating Loki or Thor, depending if Hela is there, you would get a KO or the sound effect, which shouldn't happen, and so now it won't. And just in case you were uncertain, Phoenix will be a duelist. That is confirmed, and they are ranged. Not that we really need much more of that. And as you can see from this screenshot right here, Jeff has the trinket, the accessory available as well. And right now that's only going to be available for 9 heroes. But I think it does look pretty cool. And then here is a picture of some of the trinkets that will be available.
The first batch features
and here we can see on Psylocke, it's on the right side of the butt. Interesting for the Venom. And then when Jeff is underwater, the Deadpool person sticks up, which I actually really do like a lot. And then this is going to be some of the color variations for the costumes we were speaking of earlier, with Malice in the bottom right, the Rocket top right, Scarlet Witch in the top left, and Jeff in the bottom left. I think it looks really sick. I don't think the chroma color variants are worth it because you have to pay for the skin anyways, which kind of sucks, and then you have to pay for an extra thing on top of it. But you spend your money however you want to spend your money. And then the part that I really want to see is this.
Use any costume and equip any MVP from any other costume of the same hero. Plus, your team.
This is what the event screen will look like as well, which I think does look a little bit better. I think it might cause a little bit of a pain point with console players, but it's one extra button you got to click, so it's not the end of the world. And so everything for the Dev Talk comes out on July 11th. For the regular patch notes, with the minor bug fixes, that comes out on Thursday, and the skins technically come out on Friday. And there's still more to come out for Season 3. We only have just a little bit of information at the moment, and it's looking really good so far. I did hear word that they're going to be punishing the griefers, the throwers, the sour people you really don't want in your ranked games a lot harder than what they have been doing. I hope they do something big about it, because last season, I think like from Season 2 until at this moment, it's been really rough in ranked play. Anyways, that is a wrap on this week in Marvel Rivals. Hit that like button if you're still watching, subscribe for more videos like this if you haven't already, and stay tuned for the next one. YouTube thinks you like this video next? Let me know if you do.